Captain Elara Miles stood on the bridge of the celestial spear, her gaze locked on the star-studded void ahead. The edge of known space, the uncharted territories, loomed ominously, a vast expanse where the detailed maps of the Federation ended and wild space began. Despite the mission being classified as simple reconnaissance, a palpable tension permeated the air aboard the ship. Rumors of unexplained disappearances and lost signals had reached the Federation, whispering of dangers lurking in the unexplored regions. The Celestial Spear was a vessel of notoriety and strength, equipped with the latest in propulsion and defensive technology, yet it carried an air of vulnerability as it approached the vast, swirling nebula ahead. This nebula, pulsing with an eerie light, was a stellar nursery of gas and dust, but also, as Elara and her crew would soon discover, a hiding place for creatures of legend. Elara's focus was absolute, her mind recalling every piece of lore and scientific data about the regions beyond. Her crew, a collection of seasoned Federation officers and eager young ensigns, manned their stations with a mixture of fear and excitement. The ship's sensors, usually quiet, suddenly blared an unexpected warning, snapping everyone to heightened alertness. "Report!" Elara's voice cut through the bustling sounds of the bridge. Lieutenant Hargrove, her second-in-command, pointed to the readings flashing on the main display. "Unknown contacts emerging from the nebula, Captain. Size and scale off any known charts. They're massive!" Elara stepped closer, her eyes narrowing as she observed the sensor outputs. Shapes, immense and imposing, began to materialize from the nebula's depths. These were no ordinary space fauna, these were the mythical interstellar serpents, their existence only speculated in whispered tales among spacefarers. The creatures' scales shimmered with the star's light, making them appear almost ethereal, woven from the very fabric of the cosmos. The first of the serpents moved closer, its enormous body coiling in the starlight, its eyes glimmering with a predatory intelligence. Elara felt a chill as she met its gaze through the viewscreen, the creature's presence both awe-inspiring and terrifying. "Shields up, ready all cannons. Prepare for evasive maneuvers on my mark," she ordered, her voice steady but her heart racing. This was no longer a reconnaissance mission, it was a battle for survival. The crew sprang into action, their training kicking in seamlessly. The celestial spear hummed with energy as shields powered to maximum and photon cannons charged. Elara felt the deck vibrate beneath her feet as the ship braced for the imminent confrontation. The serpent struck without warning, its massive tail sweeping towards the ship with devastating speed. Elara reacted instinctively. "Evasive action, now!" she commanded. The ship lurched violently to the side, barely dodging the swipe that would have shattered their hull. "Keep us mobile, helm! Don't let it get a bead on us!" Elara called out to her pilot, who nodded, his hands flying over the controls as he navigated through the debris and cosmic winds. The battle was not merely a physical confrontation but a test of wit and will. Elara knew that out here, in the uncharted void, the rules of engagement were dictated by the laws of nature, raw and unforgiving. As the serpent regrouped for another attack, its brethren now emerging from the nebula like shadows cast by dying stars, Elara realized they were not only fighting to document these mythical beings, they were fighting to prove humanity's place among the stars. The celestial spear danced through space, weaving between attacks, retaliating with bursts of photon energy that lit up the void. Each hit on the serpent's shimmering scales sent ripples of light cascading through space, a deadly display of power and beauty. As the battle raged, Elara stood resolute, her crew united under her command. They were far from Federation space, beyond the reach of quick reinforcements, facing a legend made flesh. But Captain Elara Miles was undeterred. This was her ship, her crew, her responsibility, and she would see them through to the dawn of the next star, whatever it took. The battle between the celestial spear and the interstellar serpents intensified, weaving through the cosmos like a tapestry of light and shadow. Captain Elara Miles, her face set in a mask of determination, directed her crew with the precision of a seasoned conductor. Her voice was calm but carried the weight of their dire situation, echoing through the bridge. "Keep the cannons firing, and maintain our distance. The Serpents, each as long as the ship and far more agile in the vacuum of space, retaliated with ferocity. Their scales, tough as comet crusts, reflected the ship's photon blasts, making direct hits less effective than hoped. The crew of the Celestial Spear adapted quickly, targeting the Serpents' less armored segments revealed during their fluid, menacing movements. Lieutenant Hargrove coordinated the ship's defenses, shouting commands over the din of battle. Adjusting energy frequency, trying to find a weak spot. His fingers danced across the control panel, modulating the energy output of their weapons in hopes of penetrating the Serpent's natural armor. Meanwhile, the ship's pilot, Ensign Rowe, showcased his flying prowess. With every command from Elara, he executed complex maneuvers, dodging the Serpent's relentless attacks. The ship twisted and turned through space, its engines flaring as it narrowly escaped the sweeping tails and snapping jaws of their colossal adversaries. "Status report," Elara demanded, her eyes scanning the main display which showed the Serpents encircling them like celestial dragons of ancient lore. "Shields at 60%, Captain. We can't take many more hits like these," reported the chief engineer, her voice tense as she monitored the fluctuating energy levels. Elara nodded, her mind racing for solutions. "Redirect auxiliary power to shields, keep our defensive perimeter up. Hargrove, find that frequency," she ordered, her voice a beacon of strength amidst the chaos. The Serpents attacked in unison, coordinating their strikes with terrifying intelligence. As one Serpent distracted the crew with a feint, another lunged from a different angle, its gaping maw aiming to crush the ship's starboard side. The Celestial Spear shuddered under a direct hit, the sound of straining metal echoing through the hull. "Damage report," Elara called out, gripping the railing as the ship steadied itself. "Minor hull breach, section Gamma 3. Sealing now. No casualties," the damage control officer reported back quickly. Elara breathed a brief sigh of relief but remained focused. She glanced at the tactical overlay, her strategic mind mapping out their next move. "Rowe, bring us around for another pass. Target the lead Serpent. Hargrove, do we have that frequency?" "Just about, Captain." "Locking in now," Hargrove replied, his eyes alight with the thrill of the challenge. The ship aligned for another assault, its cannons glowing with charged energy. "Fire!" Elara commanded, and the ship released a barrage of enhanced photon blasts. This time, the beams struck true, searing through the Serpent's scales and eliciting a roar that vibrated through the cosmos. Cheers erupted on the bridge, but the victory was short-lived. The wounded Serpent, enraged and writhing in pain, called to its kin. From the nebula emerged more Serpents, their numbers seemingly endless, their eyes burning with stellar fire. Elara's heart sank at the sight, but her resolve hardened. "We are not backing down. Prepare all cannons, charge the torpedoes. We fight as long as we stand," she declared, her voice resonant with command. The crew rallied to her call, their spirits bolstered by her unyielding courage. As they prepared for another round, an unexpected signal beeped on the communications console. A mysterious craft, previously hidden by the nebula's dense gas, emerged and hailed the Celestial Spear. "This is Captain Jean of the vessel Harbinger. Looks like you could use some help." A calm voice crackled over the comm. Elara's eyes widened in surprise and relief. "Captain Jean, your timing is impeccable. We welcome the assistance," she responded, a strategic glimmer in her eye. With the arrival of the Harbinger, a ship known to few and seen by even fewer, the battle shifted. The new ally brought fresh tactics and firepower, launching a surprise assault on the Serpents that disrupted their formation. The Celestial Spear and the Harbinger synchronized their attacks, weaving a deadly dance around the Serpents that began to falter under the relentless onslaught. The tides of battle were turning, and amidst the roaring cannons and blazing energy beams, a new hope dawned for Elara and her crew. With each passing moment, their coordinated strikes pushed the Serpents back, reclaiming the stars one pulse at a time. With the unexpected arrival of the Harbinger, and its enigmatic Captain Jean, the dynamics of the battle shifted dramatically. The Celestial Spear, though battered, was no longer alone against the cosmic Serpents. Together, the two ships formed a formidable force, their combined firepower and tactical acumen breathing new life into the fray. Captain Elara Miles stood at the helm of the Celestial Spear, her eyes alight with a renewed vigor. "All crews, coordinate your fire with the Harbinger. We're going to push these creatures back into the nebula," she commanded, her voice cutting clear across both ships. The crew responded with a chorus of affirmatives, their spirits lifted by the joint effort. As the Serpents regrouped, they seemed to sense the increased threat, their attacks becoming more desperate and coordinated. Massive bodies twisted through the void, their scales shimmering with celestial light as they struck. But now, under the leadership of Elara and Jean, the human ships danced around the assaults with a grace born of dire necessity. Captain Jin's voice came through on the comm, crisp and reassuring. "Elara, we've analyzed their attack patterns. I'm sending over data now. Let's exploit their flank when they coil." "Received, Jean. Excellent work. Let's put that to use," Elara replied, her tactical display updating with the new information. She quickly devised a plan, her mind as sharp as the photon blades their ships fired. "Focus on their vulnerable spots as they maneuver. We'll catch them off guard." The battle raged on, the darkness of space lit by the continuous fire of energy weapons and the ethereal glow of the Serpents. The Celestial Spear and Harbinger took turns baiting the creatures, drawing them out before delivering powerful strikes at their exposed underbellies. During a particularly fierce exchange, a Serpent managed a direct hit on the Harbinger, its tail crashing against the ship's shields with a force that sent shockwaves through the hull. "Shields holding, but we can't take another hit like that," Jean reported, his voice tense but controlled. "Understood, Jean. Let's finish this," Elara responded, signaling her crew to prepare for a final assault. She turned to her weapons officer. "Load all remaining torpedoes. Target the Alpha Serpent, the largest one. It's leading the others." With precise coordination, the Celestial Spear maneuvered for a clear shot. The Serpents, sensing the imminent danger, intensified their attacks, but the human ships were ready. As the Alpha Serpent opened its maw in a silent roar, the Celestial Spear unleashed its full arsenal. The torpedoes, glowing bright as falling stars, shot through space and struck true, causing a massive explosion that ripped through the Serpent's body. The impact was catastrophic. The Alpha Serpent's body convulsed as it was torn apart, the explosion illuminating its insides with a fiery light. Its kin, witnessing the fall of their leader, hesitated, their will to fight visibly shaken. Seizing the moment, Elara ordered a full advance. "All ships push forward! Drive them back!" she commanded. The Celestial Spear and Harbinger surged ahead, their combined firepower overwhelming the now retreating Serpents. One by one, the colossal creatures withdrew, disappearing into the nebula from whence they came. As the last of the Serpents vanished, a heavy silence fell over the battlefield. The crew of the Celestial Spear stood in awe, their gazes locked on the stars that had witnessed their improbable victory. Captain Jin's voice broke the stillness, his tone imbued with respect and camaraderie. "Well fought, Elara. The Harbinger stands ready to assist the Celestial Spear back to Federation space." "Thank you, Jean. Your timely intervention made the difference today," Elara replied, her relief palpable. The bridge crew erupted into cheers and applause, their earlier tension replaced by triumph and relief. Elara allowed herself a small smile, proud of her crew and their resilience. As the Celestial Spear set a course back to Federation space, escorted by the Harbinger, Captain Elara Miles looked out into the vast expanse of the universe. Her spirit was alight with triumph, yet her mind was thoughtful. Today, they had faced legends and lived to tell the tale. The universe felt both smaller and infinitely more mysterious. She knew their return would be celebrated, their tale told and retold as a testament to human courage and ingenuity. But for Elara, the adventure was far from over. The cosmos, with its infinite mysteries and dangers, called to her soul. And she would answer, always pushing forward, ever ready to defend humanity's place among the stars.